Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Matt, and we are going to talk about Glow Season 2, Episode 8. It's called The Good Twin. So full spoilers for the episode, as always. So we got essentially, with the exception of the last few seconds, we got essentially an episode of Glow. Like in universe, here's what an episode of Glow was. Specifically after Sam decided, oh, let's just go wild since we're getting cancelled anyway, probably. And we got this episode, which had 2 wrestling matches in it, and otherwise was a lot of little skits to explain the story in the background. And the inventive way...
It was very much a variety show.
It was, because it's a different aspect ratio. It's in 4:3. It's in the TV ratio of the day until the end, because I noticed it switched. It switched to the regular ratio for the last scene, because it was off the TV at that point.
And because of you, I noticed it switched.
Yes.
That's how I knew something was up. I was like, oh, we're no longer watching the show as it's airing. Like, this is something else. So, yeah, now this made me want to go back and, because they have Glow on Netflix, the actual, old school one.
Did they have the whole show? I know they have a documentary about it.
I can't remember. I skimmed past it a bunch when I'm looking for stuff to watch.
Yeah, I think it's just a documentary about it, man. I don't think it's the actual season of the show.
That'd be cool if they did, though.
You want to go back and watch it and see did they actually?
No, I want to see how close it is.
Yeah, because this episode presents the storylines that we're doing is really insane. Because one storyline we see, and it kind of cuts between them throughout the episode, but one storyline we get is Britannica is trying to turn a mannequin into a real person. She wants a man, so she's going to try. She's doing like a Dr. Frankenstein-esque thing, and it doesn't quite work, of course. So Black Magic shows up out of nowhere and is like, "I can do that for you. I can make him alive, but I need to take your brain. That's the price. Is your intelligence." So Britannica uploads her mind onto a floppy disk, which
floppy disk hold 4 megabytes.
Which I think that's almost like the unintentional joke, not from her, but the joke here is that her brain would fit on a floppy disk that holds 4 megabytes.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'll tie a string around my finger so that I know. And it's actually Bash who's playing the guy. Like when the mannequin becomes a person, it's Bash who's there. And it's all fine. We see that she's all happy. And it's the teenager next door, played by Justine, comes in, and she's like, "Oh hey, Britannica, you seem weird. What's wrong?" And she's like really stupid. And then she uploads the floppy disk, which, by the way, I did not see how she uploaded the floppy disk coming at all.
This is meant to be a kid's show, but I guess because now they're on it
2 a.m.
2 in the morning, I guess it's fine.
You could be a bit more crude.
I had to rewind it to make sure I didn't Netflix didn't just jump and I missed something.
No,
so,
she finds the floppy disk. The robot comes back. Bash's robot is like her robot in this fake lab set.
The Glowbot.
Yeah, and hands her the floppy disk saying, Britannica's brain. And there's a little bit of a joke where she can't read the writing at first, but she just lifts up her skirt and puts the disc up there. And Justine tries to stop her as if that's not the right idea, but then it works. Then she stands back up and she's like, "Oh, I'm me again. I've got all my intelligence."
It made a disk drive sound,
which implies that Britannica herself, not the real, when I say real, not the character we've been watching is a robot, but the Britannica character within the Glow show, within Glow.
Right.
Is a robot because she has a floppy drive where her vagina is supposed to be, or it doubles as both.
Look,
whatever.
I used to watch Lucha Underground a lot until I ran out of time, and it got pretty crazy. You had a guy that was a dragon, you had a guy that was a monster that would rip heads off, and Glow makes that look normal. That's like a walk on a park on a Sunday afternoon. So I really appreciated the work they put into this.
Yeah, this was ultra bizarre, and ultimately, no, he's turning back into a mannequin, and if you want him, you're going to have to beat me in the ring. And then it cuts to the actual wrestling match. So it's almost like if actual wrestling, if all the promos were all actually pre-taped. I mean, some of them are pre-taped, but they're still pre-taped under the the semblance that there may be a happening backstage live, right? And like an arena setting, whereas this is no. This is like a separate TV show where they have sets where she's a scientist and there's a lab, and then they just we'll sort this out in a wrestling ring, and then that's the actual wrestling. It's weird, but it's fun.
No.
Like I had a smile on my face the whole time, especially when during the match with Britannica and what she's now Cherry's character's Black Magic. That's what they're calling her. Is that this was super antics. This was she's got magic dust that she sprays into the referee, which turns him into like a cat or something like that, where he's playing with the toy.
Yeah, they just called it a magic dust, and because it affected Britannica differently. Because it made Britannica go to sleep.
Yeah.
But Cherry was very much Undertaker. She rolls her eyes back in her head.
She did actually, yeah.
All presentation.
Yeah, and then she rips the arm off the mannequin and starts beating her up with that. The whole thing. It was very animated. It was like one of these overbooked, ridiculous. It's one of these things where, like, if this actually happened in wrestling, I'd roll my eyes because it's so overbooked. But in this, because it's kind of the joke, is that they're just going nuts with it. Like, I actually got a good chuckle out of it because it's kind of making fun of actual wrestling, and not in like a mean way, just in like a this is how silly it gets sometimes.
Well, yeah, this was the era that Jake the Snake tied up Macho Man into the ropes and then let a cobra bite him. You know, like that's around the same time. So. But I just appreciate all the work they put in to make this eye-rollingly bad, but it's all done like this tongue-in-cheek.
I have to ask,
way.
What was the moment early on in the episode where you realized the entire episode was going to be this, like, the actual show?
Well, so I kind of knew because I read when I went to go read the the title of the show before I hit play. And then I had read Netflix has the little
because
blurb.
It starts with just the Zoya stuff, right? And I thought, okay, we're going to get this, and then it'll go into the episode, and then it switched to a different storyline, and I was like, oh wait, we're actually just going to have this the whole episode because we'll save the Zoya stuff for last, but all the other stuff there was like at one point there was a music video. And it was like Makeover, and it was like Melrose like singing this song with everyone else dancing, and there's a lot of cameos from like Sam's like the bouncer at the club that they try to get into. And stuff, and it's like
there's 2 music videos because then they do like a We Are the World about kidnapping.
I mean a Band-Aid knockoff where they're doing they're doing it's for kidnapping. It's what Band-Aid and We Are the World was for famine, but for kidnapping. And I had a smile on my face the entire time because some of the lyrics were "Don't get napped" and kidnappers bring the kids back and stuff like that. Please, kidnappers, don't do it anymore.
Their heart was in the right place.
It reminds me of. Like, I think what's funny about it is like they have to appeal to the kidnappers themselves to make this work. That's what they're doing. Is they're trying to convince them to be better people. When the whole point of Band-Aid and all that stuff was like, they're appealing to regular people to stick up for these other, this other group where they need supplies, they need help. Whereas this is actively speaking to kidnappers. Please stop kidnapping kids. It's bad.
To be fair, there is a line that if a stranger offers you candy, it's probably a trap.
Yes, but sung with such gleeful cheer. But I didn't think of this one as a music video so much because it starts with a little skit where it's about kidnapping, and it spins out of the plot of the Liberty Bell's kid being kidnapped. And because what was the first part of the song was really cracking me up. It was like I can't every time I go for milk there's a picture of a child on the carton, and then I can't enjoy my milk or my cereal because there's a kid being kidnapped.
There's a kid staring back at him. Yeah. So it's really up there with Bash's "A mother without a child is just a person." Yes.
Yeah. It's not quite as good as that. It's not quite as good, but it's up there. It's in that realm. But it's good. I love that Justine has multiple parts because she's like one of the scientists at the end as well. Sam's got a couple of parts. Bash has got a couple of parts. But yeah, so yeah, the whole plot with Zoya is that she's got a twin,
who's the good twin.
The good twin who's still in Russia, and there's some humor of her like on the phone with Zoya. and Zoya wants her to like find a buyer for the kid. She's going to sell the kid. This is how ridiculous the plot's getting. And she's like, no, I will go to America and I will warn this Liberty Bell and help her and find her child because I'm the good twin on a goat. I will go by goat. So you mean boat? And actually, this is the camera guy who's playing the guy in the scene with her.
Yeah.
He's like, don't you mean you get a boat ride? He's like, no. What, do I look like I'm made of rubles? Like, no. I'll get a goat.
It's very Yakov Smirnoff, where in, this Borscht Belt kind of over the top Soviet. I loved it though.
Oh, it was cracking me up. Yeah.
Alison Brie she's committed to this terrible Russian accent. Like it's great.
Oh yeah, see when she gets to the US and she's like talking about Disneyland and she gets to see cats, and she's like, sorry goat, you'll have to go to Cats Alone so I can go and do my true calling of helping Liberty Bell find her child. And she shows up at Liberty Bell's in the shower, right? I guess this is just after the charity music video. And what was the twins' name again? It was like Stella, something like that. Olga.
Olga. Zoya and
I want to say Olga. I feel like it was Olga, but
Olga. It's Olga. There it is.
There you go. But she like shows up at the shower. She's like, "Oh, I want to have a private conversation with you in the shower." And she explains to her, and this is how we bring the Viking back in. As Liberty Bell finds her, she gets past those guards. Poor Jenny and Arthur are playing their roles, but they're having fun here though because they're guards, and Arthur falls asleep while she's a guard, and she daydreams about like having a dance, a romantic dance.
It's almost the same dance sequence from The Shape of Water.
It kind of is, yeah.
That's all I could think of watching it. And you have Junk Chain as the dancer because we've seen her. She's a converted dancer and stuff. But yeah, it's this big ballroom-esque. Like,
yeah, and they're both in like dresses and stuff, and like. But then, like, Jenny wakes her up and is like, hey, you fellas. Says, no, I just blinked for, like, a long time. It was just a blink. But they find, like, the little stars on the ground, as if Liberty Bell leaves a trail of little stars as she walks over. Yeah. And she finds Vicky, and Vicky's like, oh, I know where your kid is. She's in a safe, but if you want the combination, you're going to have to fight me for it. And that's what leads to the wrestling match.
In a safe with plenty air holes, and she's fine.
Also, the safe itself, when we see it later, is actually a locker with the word safe written on it. It's like a sticker.
And if you didn't think that when she opened it and pulled a little kid out of there, like legit they stuffed a kid in the locker,
yeah,
I died. Yeah, I laughed so hard.
So good. And so the match itself is fun as well. They do the classic thing where the ref gets knocked out, and then the guards, Arthur and Jenny, come into like triple teamer, and Liberty Bell overcomes the odds. She fights back, and
of course
it does her thing. So yeah, so some fun stuff. Yeah, it was really fun. It was funny to just see what the show is now and how crazy they're getting with the plots. And just I think the charity song might have been the highlight for me in terms of the humor.
Yeah.
But Britannica's plot was really good as well, though.
That's right. I really liked seeing the opening that we saw them shoot.
Yeah.
Like how that was cut in. That was pretty cool. Also, they made fake commercials that are set in the world.
Yep.
So you have Howard O's because of Bash's family being a sponsor now, and then they had other shows that are on the network, like Quilting Be Easy with these two old ladies.
Yeah,
talking about how fun quilting is. Like they put in some work to make these feel of the era, even down to where you can order the song from Melrose. The makeover,
yeah.
Like there's an album,
or even
and it came up with this blue screen that said, call this number 999.
Yeah, no, I remember that stuff from
no CODs
from back in the day. But what I actually really liked about that as well is that even the way that the song like title and artist and the Bash like production in the corner, it was like a music channel. Like I remember watching channels like this back when I was not this early because I wasn't born yet, but like in the 90s and early 2000s, and like it felt like, oh, this feels authentic, this is cool. And of course the big dramatic point of the episode though is at the end we see who's actually watching the TV, and it's Justine's mother and stepdad presumably. And like, it's like, that's Justine, and it comes up saying at the end, directed by Sam Silva, and she's like, oh, that son of a bitch, and that's that's what we leave on. That's not the line she says, but that's the intent.
No. Yeah, because the subplot with Olga is she's gonna get her foot worked on, and Liberty Bell's gonna train her, and she's gonna help Liberty Bell, get the kid back, or defeat Zoya, and as she goes to get the operation, we find out that Zoya and then Justine's playing an evil nurse, are the ones doing the operation, and then it cuts out of there to Justine's mom recognizing her. As the evil nurse.
That's clearly going to be something that comes into play next episode. Also, I love the idea that Zoya now in plot will have either mutilated or killed her sister, and that's she's a super villain now. She's like an outright super villain. And now Liberty Bell will have to defend the honor of the fallen good twin. that'll be the going into the match eventually whenever we get it. That'll be what we're doing. So no. I mean, this was just a super entertaining episode. I feel like this one, it's weird to rate this or rank this compared to the others because it's
so by itself.
Yeah, it's so far removed. So much of what's made this season fantastic is the great drama that's been building between the characters. And this was let's just have fun with what the wrestling characters are. Let's just have fun with what we do with this. And as a one episode thing, this was a blast. I could almost see them doing this once per season almost, and okay, here's what we're doing with the ridiculous plots this year. But as a one-time thing, this was a blast to sit through. So
definitely.
But not much more to add. It was just delightful, quirky, and just these little bits. Actually, I want to shout out to Sam. When they finally, because they all come back to the motel to get their makeover, and they go back and he lets them out of the club. He actually just walks in with them to the club to hang out, and you see him back at the sort of the bar area, and just the way he's kind of dancing along with, but he's not really committed to dancing, so he's just kind of the way he was bobbing around was just making me laugh. I don't know, I'm into it.
Also, we had Sheila the she-wolf who went to Cats with the goat, and then the goat. She's taking care of the goat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about Olga.
And the goat starts to sexually harass her. So she eats the goat.
Yeah, she warns them, and then it just cuts to her eating the goat leg. It's I warned them. Yeah. So
it was so out there, and I was like, they're not gonna. Oh, they did go there. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, Sheila's basically the T-Rex from Jurassic Park at this point. Let's just be honest about it.
I do like how it's very much there's the heels and the faces, right? Sheila and Machu Picchu and Melrose and Botanica all hang out with Liberty Bell.
Yes.
Right? When you see them in scenes, they're with her. And then with Zoya, it's Vicky the Viking and... was Black Magic with her? I don't think so.
No, but it was Arthie and Jenny.
Yeah. Jenny. It was Fortune Cookie and Beirut. So I thought that was pretty cool. They're actually thinking about the wrestling alignments and whatnot for the show. So it actually made it feel like they are attempting to tell a story. They're not just being silly for the sake of it.
Let's not gloss over the first time we had Liberty Bell. It was in her house actually. That's where they filmed it. I liked how you could tell where they filmed most of this stuff. You could tell where they turned what into a set. It was in her empty house. She was doing exercise for being miserable or whatever she called it, and she was crying as she was doing the aerobics. Yeah. And they're all just yelling things they're upset about. Yeah. Someone the size 7.5 is always the one that goes out out of sale or out of stock first at a sale. That's what Melrose shouts as she's crying as she's doing the aerobics. I don't know, but the whole thing was very amusing and entertaining. So I love that it was playful. It does really good drama, but it also gets really playful at times. I can't compliment it enough. It's not my favorite episode because I think it does lack the great drama of some of the really great episodes. But I love that it can do this. I love that it can just take a break from that and do this as well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, for as much as you like eating a nice steak with mashed potatoes and a vegetable, sometimes you want a cheeseburger that's just, and French fries. It's just empty calories. And that's kind of what this was. I
think I'd go further.
Was a nice change.
This was ice cream. I feel like
okay.
What's a cheeseburger? I feel like, I don't know, like a superhero show. That's a cheeseburger.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, this was a decadent dessert.
Yes.
Like, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
So, but no, yeah.
This was ice cream with sprinkles and some sauce. That's what this was. Anyway,
Right.
that is Glow episode 8. So we'll be back by the end of the week with episode 9. You can look forward to that. So we're getting close to the end of the season. I mean, obviously Justine's parents are going to come knocking and like, what the hell have you done with our daughter?
Yep.
But other than that, like, again, what we do with the rest of the season, I don't know. But it's kind of fun. I don't know. They don't this one at the park, so why not the next one? So that is Glow episode 8. So let us know what you thought of this one. The comments below, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on patreon.com/MaileFuzzTV. If you want to support us and, you know, keep the reviews coming, even for $1, which is even a great help. But if you can't, don't feel bad. You can like, subscribe, and all the rest of it. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates, and you can get our individual Twitters on the screen there. But that is us. So thank you very much once again for watching and listening, and we always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?